If we already have the material like the Torah or like the Zohar, why do we need these other books? What's the purpose of them? Why don't we just use the Torah? He answers that here. In 156, the very first sentence says, "Yet there is a strict condition during the engagement in this wisdom, to not materialize the matters with imaginary and corporeal issues." Who would have ever guessed when they pick up their Bible, they open up into Exodus and they see the story of Moses and the exile of the Israelites into Egypt, and then the escape through the wilderness? Who would have imagined that there's a spiritual aspect to this? That's what it's really meant for. It's not supposed to be a history book. That this thing is supposed to actually have a purpose to it. That this individual called Moses is actually a state of existence, a state of desire. That the Pharaoh represents our ego. Or that the Red Sea is the barrier into spirituality. Or that Mount Sinai represents this mountain of hatred that we must overcome in order to love thy friend as thyself. In other words, every single time that we read an article or anything with regard to the Torah, we open it up and we read. And what do we see? We see all sorts of words that belong in this world. All of them. About trees and apples and animals and houses and temples and all sorts of things. We think of corporeal trees and houses and temples and apples and lions and whatever it lists in there. So there's always confusion. And by the way, it's automatic. You can't keep from it. Why? You hear the word tree, you don't have anything to stop you from associating it with this gigantic oak. So what Baal Salam has tried to do here is to put this in a different language called the language of branches. To give words that aren't necessarily used in corporeality and define those words, what they are, what they mean, along with the processes that will occur along your path, along the path through spirituality. He does that with terms like sphirot, partsuf, or a world, olam. That one's a hard one because we already have one here. It actually represents concealment. And the different spiritual worlds are actually different levels of concealment of spirituality, not different places that we go to. So as you can see, there's a lot to learn here. A whole lot.